ladies, Jennifer and Yadira of I Am International Magazine. What an honor to have both of you. Perhaps, Yadira, we start with you. Just maybe you can share a little bit about who you are, even though the intro captured it.
Yes, thank you so much. I am Yadira Gonzalez Munoz. I am the founder of I Am Magazine International. It's a magazine for personal development and, of course, featuring all the professionals that are also being featured in the magazine and the articles that are written in it. Why we created I Am Magazine, that comes from a whole very long story, but it is mostly because I discovered how I found my I Am. And discovering my I Am, my idea was also I could help others find their I Am. How it is easy and important to really know your I Am and your growth, your personal growth, to love yourself. And that's why then I decided to create the I Am magazine, and my sister jumped in.
That is wonderful. And I genuinely believe that that's a spiritual approach as well, to think of something as a concept and say, I am, and then you fill in the blank and it helps you grow. Jennifer, tell us a little bit about yourself and what is your I am?
Hi, thank you, Shilpa, for having us here today. We started this magazine because Yadira had a dream first, and this dream including giving others the tools that they need to be able to grow and have a personal development. She asked me to join in because I have a background in sales, and I actually worked with a magazine back when I was younger. So between the two of us, we put our experience together and started going through what can we bring to the table? How do we get people to start thinking about themselves as strong as I am? I am a warrior. I am a survivor. I am an entrepreneur. We always say, I am a mother, I am a sister. Well, you are, and that's the core of the magazine, is to get all these experts together that will share their insights and articles that are motivational and inspirational for our readers to grow and to find their I Am. So here we are, 3 years later. We have an English version and a Spanish version of the magazine, both of with their unique experts in different fields. And we're always looking for new experts to share their ideas and be part of the magazine and collaborate.
Well, the word I am brave comes to me because both of you are brave women to share your gifts and then share your stories and highlight the lives of other people, shining the light on others, which is often what women are there to do, because we are nurturers as well. So I am so proud of both of you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we are so excited because you are joining I Am Magazine too. And your first article is coming out in January, so do not miss it. This is very important. I am very excited because you are an expert. You have a lot to offer, and I loved your article. So if you're watching this, make sure you tune in and you go to read this article. You will be very, very fulfilled with it.
Yes, ladies, and for those who are listening, we are collaborating, and I will be taking part as a contributor. And I love the concept. And I love the concept that how can I channel the creative energy and the spiritual energy and help me uplift and inspire other women. I'd like to start with a more deeper question. And that's the question of, I believe both of you are heroines, like in a good old fashioned film, we see those who went through some struggles and came out the other side and have now uplifted other people. So perhaps both of you can take a moment and share any kind of pivotal moment that occurred that required for you to really dig deep and overcome some I would call painful moments or gaps.
Yes, indeed. Well, let me start with me. I actually, everything came out after an accident I had in 2010, where I was in a coma. And after 2 weeks, I woke up, and that's when the doctor told me that I would never walk again, which it's a long story to tell. It's a beautiful story, I know, because I can share it with people that can, I don't know, maybe realize that life is not as difficult as we make it. And we can go out of any problems and not accept what others tell us, what we can and what we cannot do. I had to make a change in my life because in the past, I had anger issues. I was upset with everything that had happened. I was a single mother with 3 kids. Life was difficult, but then I realized that I was making it difficult myself. And I was always looking for happiness in something or someone else. And after this accident, it was like a wake-up call to say, I have to change my way of thinking. I have to change my feelings. I have to grow. And that's how I started the journey, not only the journey of having several surgeries to be able to walk again, but also the journey of discovering my I am, discovering myself, forgiving myself and forgiving others. And that is the journey that it took me until where I am today, which is I'm still in a construction process because this never ends. So it's not that I say, oh, now I am perfect. I've done it. I don't have to grow anymore. No, it's every day we grow more and more because we tend as human beings to go back to what we were used to. And that is the moment that we have to say, no, stop. This is not who I was or who I want to be. I want to be better. I want to become, even like we always say, become the best version of myself. So when I know I'm doing something wrong or someone else tells me you're doing this wrong, then I think about it. And instead of pointing the finger to someone else, because I always say when you point the finger to someone else, there are 3 fingers pointing at you. So when you do that, you have to see those 3 fingers, say, okay, these 3 fingers are telling me I have to have the change. And not because of others, but because of ourselves. So it has been a long journey. And I will tell it probably the whole show, but we don't want to do that. So I think that is one of the most important things. We need to get to know ourselves, love ourselves, and discover our I am to become the best version of ourselves. Never stop growing.
And the fact that you discovered this at the peak of it sounds like you went through physical pain and emotional grief and came out the other side. And one thing I like what you expressed is that it's not a done deal. It's not like you're complete, and recognizing that is part of the journey, because we are all going to rediscover more about ourselves and evolve and expand into the fullness of who we are as a soul. So I love the fact that you highlighted that, and look at where you've come. So this is wonderful. Now, Jennifer,
It is.
I would love to hear your journey, your story, your aha, and how it came that you are now in this place in your life as well.
Right. Well, I strongly believe that there are moments in your life that bring you pain and sorrow. And those are the moments that also get you to grow the most. And I had a bad relationship when I was a teenager, a very controlling and difficult relationship. When I finally got out of that relationship, I promised myself it would never happen to me again. And I made a list. I made a list of the things, the flags, the absolutely under no circumstances I'd put up with this again. I made a list of the red flags of what to look in somebody else that will tell me not to get close, because believe it or not, there are red flags. We just choose to ignore them. They're everywhere. there are so many, and it is so easy to get wrapped up in I'm in love, it's so perfect, to ignore the flags that really somebody else might be seeing as, oh my God, I cannot believe she's looking at that with goo eyes instead of running away eyes, right? So I made a list of that, and I had a purpose not to ever get on that situation again. But I had to look at myself first and realize why it was so easy for that person to be able to wrap you and fool you into believing their lie, right? And the truth is that if you do not love yourself enough, you will always be seeking for somebody else to love you, and somebody else to accept you, and somebody else to make you complete. And it was a process of destruction and hitting rock bottom to build yourself up again. And you will find that once in a while you run into that wall again, because like Yadira said, it doesn't go away. It's not perfect. You are not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And sometimes also you forget that you're special, that you have something to offer, something valuable, something good. And once in a while, you get too depressed, maybe the weather's down or some things are not going your way, and you start punishing yourself and thinking, oh, I am this, I am that. And you have to go back and look at the mirror and say, I am strong. I am a warrior. Instead of saying, I am weak, I am this. I am is a very, very strong statement. And that's why the magazine is called I Am Magazine International, because we want people to look at themselves in the mirror and say, I am filling the blank, but fill it with something strong, positive, determined. So that was my point. I think my rock bottom was coming out of this relationship and realized that I don't need somebody else to validate me. I am strong. I can validate myself. I can complete myself. And once you start loving yourself first, and once you know what you bring to the table and remain strong on that, do not hesitate, because you do bring stuff to the table. Everybody does. Then you're ready to get into a relationship. You're ready to give. And like I always say, there is honor in service. But if you do not know what you have, what you bring to the table, and how to serve others, you're missing out. You really do not know how can you serve others. And that's honor. You have to get there. You have to learn your I am. You have to discover your I am. You have to love yourself and get there. That's my story, and I stick with it.
Absolutely wonderful story. And as I mentioned to both of you, you are the last podcast for 2023. And the theme of this month is embodied awareness. And I could not have thought of a more profoundly beautiful phrase to tie in, like the universe does magic. For the last topic to come into, I am embodied awareness. And as females, I feel like we have a certain perspective that may be unique in what we bring to the table when it comes to I am, because of our heart space. So perhaps both of you can give me, I'll start with Jennifer. When you hear embodied awareness connected to the term I am, what does that mean to you?
I am. Precisely, that's what embodied awareness is. You have to find who you are. You have to accept who you are and know that you're always a project. It's always a work in progress. So when you accept your qualities and your faults, you can actually be aware of yourself, and you have the mindful choice to become a better person. But it's a choice. But to make that choice, you have to have that awareness. You have to be mindful of the steps. You have to know, for instance, if something simple, I leave the bathroom light on every time I go in there. You have to be aware, I always do this. And you have to be mindful of making that extra step, to take that extra step to turn off the light. The same is with anything in your life. If you are aware of your surroundings, of who you are, of what you are, of the things that you need to work in, then you can mindfully become a better person, because it's a choice. And we all have that choice. And it's incredible the power that that gives us. Oh, that's the way I am, put up with it. You are that way because you want to be like that. Because we have to be mindful. And we are aware that's the way we are. And you will not change unless you make a mindful commitment to make that change.
And the heart of it is awareness.
Yes.
That's the hardest thing. It's even harder when somebody points it out to you and you're like, I'll not do that. I don't do that. Do I do that? It is very difficult, and then you have the loved ones that don't want to say anything, but put up with your stuff. And you're like, I am perfect, or, I'm too old to change. No, we all have faults. Nobody's perfect except me. I'm kidding.
And what I was also trying to articulate moments ago is that this awareness comes from mindful activities. It comes also from giving ourselves grace. And for me, it also comes from the simple act of pausing in the morning and meditating. And knowing that each and every day, that embodied approach that we each take, some may think of it as holistic, but I think embodied is even deeper, because it also includes the wisdom we've gained, the experiences we have in life. This sum total gives each of us the ability to say, I can grow. And one of my biggest pet peeves is when somebody says, well, I'm too old, or I can't, or this is who I am. No.
Yeah.
Right? Yadira, give us your perspective on the connection between embodied awareness and I am.
Well, actually, Jen said it almost everything. But I think that the most important is also falling in love with yourself. Is the first thing. I always say the moment that you love yourself, you're going to be able to love the right way to others, and others will love you. So that is very important. I am loved by myself first. So the I am is very important. Like Jen said before, I am, you can use it in many different ways. You can use it in negative ways. When you use them in negative ways, you're never going to grow. But when you start using in positive ways, I am beautiful, I am perfect, even though we are never perfect, but you can say it, because that is going to help you change your mindset, change the way your thoughts, change the way you think about ourselves. Because you can think about anybody else, whatever you think, but if you start with you, I am gonna be different. Or like you also said, in the morning, we're gonna start meditating in the morning. I always do that. But when I open my eyes, I say, I am gonna have a great day today. Even if it's a dark day, even if it's rainy, even if it's painful, because after the accident, I am in pain every day, but I put it away. I don't think about it. I say, I'm going to be wonderful today. I'm not going to be in pain. You use that. I am going to love myself. So I think embodying also is learning to love and accept, probably when you're in pain, like I accept the pain, but at the same time, I am grateful And I always say, I'm grateful that I have these legs, that I can walk. And I'm grateful for this pain because it reminds me how far I had come. For one day told me you will never walk again to walking again, you know. So we have to be thankful with ourselves, with our body, the way that we treat ourselves. And as I told before, the moment that you learn to love yourself, it's going to be easy to love others and to be loved by others. So I think that is one of very important things too.
Yeah. And I think it's incredible how the universe gives you exactly what you need when you need it. The right people come into your life, the right experiences, the right lessons. They come into your life when you need it. And really, the key is to have that awareness, to open your hands, receive what is given to you gladly. And don't try to hold too tight to things, because if they live your life, it's because it's time for them to live your life. There's no point on staying in there. Everything comes because there's a lesson involved, because there's a season, there's a reason for the season, right? There's a reason, there's a time to cry, there's a time to be joyous, there's a time for somebody to come into your life and bring you lessons. Even the person that comes into your life and produces you pain is there for a reason, for you to grow in a particular area, for you to learn that lesson. Now, if you don't learn that lesson, it's going to continue happening. The point is to be aware, be mindful, embodied the decisions you just accept.
Acceptance, yes.
Be grateful and move forward. Otherwise, you don't grow. You'll remain in the same position and same. And, some people that believe in reincarnation, they say you reincarnate in the same, whatever you are, if you don't progress in your current life. I believe that for sure. I want to grow. I want to grow personally. I want my personal development. Yeah, I'm probably far from perfect, and it's going to take a long while to get where I want to be. But the goal is to keep on going. Never give up.
Keep on going and keep on growing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes from my guru's guru is keep on keeping on. And in Sanskrit is banete banejai. Like you keep doing it and it'll happen. And sometimes you're there and you don't realize that space you wanted to be in, you've already arrived.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Right. And your goals move too. You have to realize that when you set yourself to get here, once you get here, there's more for you. That's just a minor goal. You just get here, and like you say, you might not even know that you're already here, because all of a sudden bigger things are happening. And you just have to be open for it. Have that awareness, your surroundings, accept it, be joyous.
Yeah, and one of the things I want to add is being honest with ourselves, because sometimes we forget to be honest with ourselves. And the moment that you open to your own self and be honest of saying, okay, I need to change this in my own life or in myself. I need to become better. I need to change. We have so many things. I need to change my attitude, or I need to change my way of answering things, or that is honest, being honest with yourself. So the moment that you become honest with yourself, saying, okay, I am like this because this is how I am. No, just be honest and say, okay,
why am I like
this? What is wrong with me? What can I change? And if it's not possible, write it down and say, okay, this is what people are saying I do wrong. So I'm going to start paying attention to that. I'm going to start being honest to myself.
When it happens,
what happens if I start changing my attitude, if I start doing something different. So that is being honest with your own self. And I know sometimes it hurts when people or loved ones tells you, you're doing this wrong, or you're doing that. Sometimes it's for a reason. So that's when we have to hear and start being honest with us and say, okay, this person said this about me. This is the 5th person that is telling me this. So there's something wrong. I really need to change. And then being honest with ourselves, writing it down and saying, okay, how can I do this different? How can I become a better version of myself? How can I change this? How and the nice thing is being able to talk to people and find out, what do you think about me? Is there anything I can change? Or do you think that I am okay? Or is there any issue you don't like about me? You know, the loved ones will tell you maybe a little bit like, oh, she doesn't like much criticism, but we have to be open to criticism because that's one thing that is going to help us grow.
And it's good to find somebody that you trust also that gives you this information, a mentor. I loved one, usually somebody that you can trust, because it's very easy to go to somebody that, for instance, has envy. They have their own issues, and it's going to try to tear you down when you ask them this. So it's important for you, for the person that is giving you this information, to be somebody that you trust, to somebody that you can look up to, because they're going to be honest with you. And you are able to take that constructive criticism in a much kinder way because you know they love you and they want better.
And another way, potentially, what I've learned is that observing the reaction that people have around you over time, especially for myself particularly, I see patterns of behavior. And then I realize sometimes we are unconscious of our own patterns of behavior. But if you start observing the reactions of those around you, then you realize there's an opportunity for growth. There's an opportunity
absolutely
for change. Yes.
Change. And I've always said that if you feel that things are not the way you want it to be, then you have the opportunity. You're in control to create the reality that you want to create, given that maybe there are conditions around you that you cannot control. But like you said, Yadira, you came from this place of, I would say, absolute challenge. If you couldn't walk and you were in physical pain. And with you, Jennifer, having this perspective from a young age about relationships, we've all gone through these things. But again, being embodied in knowing my physical awareness of my pain, my emotional heart awareness, both of you have brought this wisdom into the lives of others now.
And one of the things is we have to be open to change, because not everybody is open to change. And you have to know that change is amazing, because change opens doors for so many things. And it's not only growth, personal growth, but it opens so many doors to other things, to better things, to meet wonderful opportunities, to meet people that are going to be on this level when you are here. But the moment that you say, I am going to change, you start even going higher than they are. So that's something that people should not be afraid of, change, because it's going to help you grow.
I love the fact that you talked about the growth. And I often think of change, sometimes maybe that has certain connotations, but I think of it more even as expansion. That I'm because change may result in the same conditions as before. However, what if you're truly expanding,
growth?
It's growth. And I've recently read, and I keep it in my diary each morning, that people meet you at your level of vibration. So if you're beginning to vibrate at higher level, you're going to meet. But if you're down, and sometimes we do get down and we get stuck, you'll start meeting people that are like vibrating on that level.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And it's contagious. Mystery loves company,
Yeah.
So you have to, we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with.
Yes.
So I always recommend, make sure that at least 4 of those people are positive, vibrant, energetic, intelligent, that want to learn, that want to expand, that bring you up. 1, give room for the husband or, the wife or whatever. But other than that, surround yourself with people that are positive, that are go-getters that are just going to say, you go, girl, ride that horse up to the cliff, it's just, show me how to do it, that are just going to be pushing you, and you can do this, and love it, and give that to somebody else too, because the nice thing about it is that when you get that push from somebody else, you should push somebody else too. And if you're pushing somebody else and that person is pushing somebody else, all of a sudden we have a revolution. We have an I am revolution where everybody finds their I am, and everybody's strong, and everybody can find their happiness, and everybody can grow, have that personal growth, that personal development.
That change that is needed.
I couldn't have said it any better. That was so beautifully expressed and so inspirational. Well, ladies, one last closing comment. If you have people that are tuning in right now and they are curious, aside from me placing in the show notes details about your magazine, what is one thing you want everyone to know that it ties back to the journey of life? But the concept of the journey of life, because often we forget, I am guilty of this, that we are looking for that result now, and we do the work, and then we get caught up with the jobs and the tasks. However, it's never about the result, though. It's about the feeling, and it's a journey. It's hard. So maybe you can summarize by your journey in creating I Am, and what you can share as words of wisdom for those who are listening.
Okay, so it has not been an easy journey, and it's never going to be an easy journey. But I remember some words that Jen said, that it's up to us to make it happen, because if we give up and we say, oh no, I'm not going to do it, then it's never going to be a journey, and you're just going to be stuck. So I believe that if you have a dream, you have to go for it, no matter how hard it is, because we've been through hard things together with my sister to do this, the magazine.
And other things too.
And every other thing too. But did we give up? No. We'll keep on going through it. So first of all, don't give up on getting to know your I am, because it's very important. It doesn't matter
It's the first step. Yeah.
That you are or you have. I started at 50. That's the moment I say, I have to change. I have to change my life. And I want to do something to help others. So you are never too old to start something you want to do. You want a dream, go for it. And if you fail, well, you fail. And then you start again, because you already know what you fail on, and then you can do better, And that was a journey that it took me to say, I have a dream and I have to do something before I'm 50. And that's when everything started, when the journey of the I am started. And I asked my sister to jump in, and we did it together. But I know it's not easy, but never give up. Never give up, and find your I am before you start that journey. Because when you find your I am, your dream and the doors are just gonna go like, phew.
Open up.
Open up.
It is important also to when you have a dream and you're pursuing this dream and it's not happening, sometimes it's important for you to take a pause. Just stop, put your luggage down, look around, and find out, is this my passion? Is this my purpose? Am I going in the wrong direction, and that's why things are not happening? Sometimes listen to the universe. The universe gives you what you need. But if you are just so, like the horses that have these things, so you don't see anything but what is in front of you, you're missing everything else. So getting overwhelmed at one point, or getting like, oh, nothing is going the way I want, is not necessarily a bad thing. Just, it's okay to rest. It's okay to put your luggage down. It's okay to take a nap, clear your mind, walk out, and breathe deep. And write it down. Make your lists. Write everything down. It's incredible. We walk around with notebooks.
Yes.
Everything goes in that notebook. The most insignificant thing goes in the notebook because it helps you digest. And when you write it down, it has an ability to leave your mind for a minute and find organization on it. And then when you figure it out, pick up those luggage and move on.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, this journey is definitely one of joy with I Am. And I look forward to how this expansion will uplift other people. So potentially, if both of you come back next year in 2024, I would be so grateful.
We would love to, absolutely.
Of course.
Thank you. Well, again, I encourage anyone that's listening, please check out I Am International Magazine. You'll be learning more about it through my socials. And I am sure that you will start walking around going, I am, and then fill in the blank.
That's right. Empower yourself.